Hi, welcome to this week's Hidden Wealth Insight. Well, this has been an amazing week on a couple fronts. Number one, the market got absolutely hammered again, and our president actually had the audacity to propose a $4.1 trillion budget proposal, of which about 2.6 trillion was putting strictly tax on the backs of the American public. And of course, it was dead on arrival, which is interesting because half of that deficit of destruction he tried to add last year at half the proposal was also dead on arrival. But he doesn't seem to give up, folks. I wish he put the same effort into fighting ISIS as he is in trying to, unfortunately, mortgage yours, mine, our children, our grandchildren's future to the maximum. But outside of that, I don't have a strong opinion other than to share with you. Several of you reached out, took the time, and learned how to have upside without downside. You see, as this stimulus, with whatever stimulus was supposedly to create growth in our economy, that still tends to be missing, obviously, because now companies are reporting their earnings, which are miserable, which is why the stock market's getting hammered. But add to that the geopolitical uncertainty with ISIS, North Korea, oil being manipulated with foreign countries, which is just sending our stock market, it's cratering as we speak. There are things that you can do. You see, Janet Yellen, our Fed chair, also met on Capitol Hill this past week and actually said not to rule out negative interest rates here in the United States. And that has failed miserably for the other countries, but I guess somehow they think that that may be positive for our country. But think of the contrast. That's coming off the first Fed funds increase to the Federal Reserve rate for 8 years that she raised up this past December, to now be talking about stimulating again the hope of growth with businesses and home ownership by actually driving interest rates below zero. And I've said this for years. I wouldn't put it past the Fed figuring out a way to go negative on interest rates. But this just proves once again the Fed has absolutely no clue on what to do to get this train of our economy back on the tracks. Well, if you add to that what we call sequence of returns, when you hit a time like this, like 2000, 2001, 2002, 2008, 2009, what it does is it decimates somebody's retirement. Because if you lose 50%, folks, we have to make 100% to get back to even. So if you're investing, I would encourage you to look at other alternatives. But if you're indexing, our clients not only don't lose, but they get to start their gains where everybody else starts to make up for their losses. But they're also tax protected. You see, with all this budget proposal and tax that's going to impact us all, and fewer people working, more people retiring, there's going to have to be a higher percentage of tax collected from a smaller number of people. But as consumption continues to go down with more people retiring and going to conservation stage of life from consumption stage of life, you also have the fewest top age consumers in this country for the next 6 years. So things are going to be pretty anemic, but there are things we can do. This is the opportunity to learn how to get your serious retirement savings safe. And what we've done for the first time ever is we created our educational, no cost, no obligation webinar, free and on demand. So you can go to retirementprotected.com. That's retirementprotected.com, but it will only be up. That information we can only leave up till midnight Tuesday Eastern time. But now's the opportunity. And I strongly, and I mean strongly, encourage both husband and wife to attend together and get on the same page of learning what many have come back and said, wow, I'm glad we did view that together because we both became aware of things we didn't even know existed. And this is the opportunity, folks. What the average person has lost in retirement is 15 years, and now start of year 2016 and counting. And you can stop losing. Stop losing to taxes and stop losing to the market, and benefit as the market bubbles, bursts, and rebounds, as our clients have, by seeking safety to get superior results, not inferior returns like many of you I've talked to that have just simply moved money to money market or cash. Well, eventually that cash is now rumored to potentially be negative. Retirementprotected.com, retirementprotected.com. Stop losing.